Hello, everybody. Happy Beer Day or Happy New Comic Book Day, whichever you choose. I haven't had a beer in a week, I don't think. Been kind of a rough week, kind of a rough month. But the comic books are here. A lot of them. Well, I'm going to show you my new comics for this week, which is kind of a medium amount. I'm going to show you a bunch of trades and stuff I've been accumulating. And I will also try to do a super quick rundown of just sort of a random group of comics I've grabbed that I've been reading in the past few weeks that I just thought I'd say a few words about each one. We'll see how all that goes. But let's start with the new comic books. Today is still Wednesday, just barely. And I went to my comic book store and grabbed some comics, or got the comics on my pull list plus a few others. So that includes BPRD, Hell on Earth, which I think is currently the story of this guy who's just a spirit or like a ghost, an ectoplasm inside a suit. But last issue, he let himself out of the suit to float off into the air, so I don't know what could possibly be coming next. So I'm very curious about that, actually. Super psyched for another issue of Lumberjanes. This is a great cover. There's all the girls from the cabin. What's the name of their cabin? The Roanoke cabin, posing as a totem pole. Awesome cover. I can't think of any issue of Lumberjanes I haven't liked so far, and we're on issue 14. Get that trade if you can. Dark Horse Presents. I kind of read random parts of these. I need to catch up in a sense on my Dark Horse Presents, but I'm always really psyched to get it. It's probably the best deal in comics right now in terms of how much you get for your money. The Fade Out, kind of a familiar story, but also, familiar story of Hollywood corruption and murder, but also just somehow unique, despite a lot of cliches in it. Oh, is that upside down? Trees. Really psyched. Trees is back after its hiatus. I think in the last issue before the hiatus, everything sort of blew up in one way or another. So I'm curious to see what's coming next. If I may have to refresh my memory. Super psyched also for Gru. This is a 12-issue maxi series, I guess, called Gru, Friends and Foes. The last two issues were hilarious. It's been up and down, but when it's on, it is really good, and it's great to read out loud with somebody. My shop got shorted on injection last week. This week they only have cover B. I can't even tell what's going on in that cover. From what I've heard, people are kind of not sure if they like Injection yet from the first issue, so I'm eager to see what I think. Given that it's a $2.99 book and that it's Warren Ellis, I think I would give it quite a long leash to get going. A $3.99 book that I probably shouldn't have bought, Kaiju Max 2. There were some cool things about Kaiju Max 1, but it didn't entirely hook me. I guess I wanted to give it one more issue to see whether it would work for me. About a prison for giant monsters, Japanese and otherwise. Okay, the really spendy book of the week, Optic Nerve number 14. I know I have some Adrian Tomaine, if that's how you pronounce them, comics from the past. I don't know if they were called Optic Nerve or they were called something else. I guess he's produced one a year of this, but it cost basically $7. So we'll see. I remember enjoying his work. He was one of the leaders of what I think of as the post the American Splendor guy. Late at night, long week, can't remember his name. It should come to me as soon as I'm done recording. But anyway, after American Splendor, it seemed like there was an explosion of autobiographical comics, and Tomaine was one of the kind of more well-known, more popular autobiographical comics kind of guys, slice of life or what have you. And to my knowledge, he's spent a lot more time in recent years doing illustrations for the New Yorker and the like. Yeah, seems like I should have had something else there. Have I misplaced a comic book? Anyway, I got in the mail one of my Marvel subscriptions. There's a few Marvel comics that I just don't want to have digitally or in trade. So I get, since I'm trying to avoid the $3.99s as much as possible, and Marvel's always $3.99, I get them in mail subscription. They come in these bags with this flimsy board here, and they usually come about 2 weeks late. Here's my latest Daredevil. To me, the condition seems good. There might be the slightest little thing on the corner there, although sometimes books from my shop will have flaws. I've heard other people say that their books get kind of messed up, so I might be lucky because of the size of my postal slot and everything, or just have been lucky. So yeah, those are my Wednesday books. Let me show you some of the trades that I've been getting lately. I showed you some last week, but I don't think I've showed you any of these. And I actually did get a box of trades from In Stock Trades 2 days ago. But a lot of these go back further than that. For starters, I have Captain Cummings to thank for the Ghoul Treasury Edition. The Ghoul is a comic by Steve Niles and Bernie Wrightson, the same team that does Frankenstein Alive. It's not nearly as detailed artwork as that, but it's still Bernie Wrightson, and it's really nice. So this Treasury Edition reproduces the artwork from, I think, a 3-issue miniseries, all in black and white instead of in the color. But for Bernie Wrightson, I think I'd rather have it in black and white, and I'd rather have it this larger size too, for sure. Maybe someday they'll do an edition of Frankenstein Alive like this. I mean, that is like black and white and silver or something. And then there's a gallery at the back and everything. So it's a pretty sweet thing. It's not pencils or anything, but it's nice. It's not on the level of a artist edition or anything. But anyway, I like it quite a bit. And kind of an interesting variation on that. This has been out for quite a while, but I just sort of stumbled at it at Things from Another World, one of their branches near where I work. I mean, this thing is huge. It's the first 2 issues of Daymen in kind of an artist edition sort of issue of sorts. It is, what do they call it? The pen and ink edition, I think. But it's also annotated. So you get the black and white version of it, and at the bottom there are notes from the writer, from the artist, Brian Stelfreeze, and from the editor, I believe. I haven't had a chance to do more than thumb through it. I like the art. I am not that familiar with Brian Stelfreeze, so since it was a reasonable price, this whole package was $10, and I love the oversized comics. I like seeing the black and white, so I got it. If it had been more expensive, or I don't know, and not so big, I love the bigness, I would have said, I'll just get the regular trade. I might still, after I read these, pardon me, after I read these 2 issues, I might still get the regular trade. Then I got a bunch of softcover trades, mostly Image, I believe, of things I wanted to catch up on. Here's Zero, the first 5 issues. I kind of dived into Zero in the middle, or in the last third of the Zero run, and I was enjoying it for a while, and then I stopped understanding it. And so many people say good things about it, especially people who like more challenging comics. I thought I'd get this first trade and start catching up with Zero and understanding what's going on. This was kind of a spur of the moment pick up Void. It's a hardback a translation of a European comic that Sean Phillips drew. Takes place in outer space. I've already tried to read it. It's actually quite boring. So the idea that that European comics are always better is not really the case. I'll give it another try, but it's got nice artwork by Sean Phillips, but the writing wise, it seems to be done in a pretty lazy, static kind of way. Here's a Chris Burnham and Joe Casey book called Nixon's Pals, another hardback. I got this from In Stock Trades. I don't know the origin of this. It is an Image comic. I assume it came out in individual issues quite a while ago, and for some reason they've now decided to put it in hardcover, but maybe not. I'm not sure if they're showing like, oh, here's the original cover. So yeah, I think it did come out in floppies originally. It's slightly oversized. I'm kind of a fan of Chris Burnham, so it seemed worth giving a shot too. Picked up Copperhead Volume 1. I've heard a lot of good things about this, so I wanted to try it. Picked up Roche Limit, sort of for the heck of it, because I actually got issue 1 of this and wasn't that crazy about it, but I kept hearing people liking it, so I thought, you know, the $9.99 trade, I'll give it a shot. I always want more science fiction, because these are almost all science fiction. Deep Gravity, this is a Dark Horse book. The reason I picked it up was because it's Gabriel Hardman, who I've just recently discovered how much I like his art. So I just wanted to get anything with more art by him. This looks a little different than his art, say, in, well, what's his current book? At Image. More brain flaws. And the reason is the art is not by Gabriel Hardman, so the laugh is on me. But another science fiction book. And I think it was pretty inexpensive. More science fiction, Low. This is one of the ones I regret not jumping on because I've heard so many great things about it, and I really like Rick Remender. I think the first issue was $3.99, and then it dropped down to $3.50, and my rule has kind of been if it's $3.99, wait for trade. So that triggered the wait for trade rule. Obviously, I don't 100% follow my own rule there, but there has to be like strong reasons for the exception. Another one I didn't jump on right away, and I'm kind of glad just to be reading this in trade. I don't need to get it in floppies. It's Deadly Class, because I liked it, but I didn't relate to it deeply. Yeah, maybe I'm too old. Who knows? Picked up Jupiter's Legacy in trade. I wish there was a hardback, actually. This was amazing. I loved it. Mostly because of Frank Quietly. And so I've already read this one. And I had decided to wait for trade on this after reading the first issue just because I knew I wouldn't want to read it in small pieces. I also picked up Shudder. I keep getting... I think I read 2 issues of this and got frustrated. But I'm very attracted to the art, and I thought, oh, I'll give it another chance. And again, the cheap first trades from Image. And then the thing that I'm most excited about that I got in the mail 2 days ago. Fantastic Four, Volume 3 of the Stan Lee Jack Kirby run. The, what do they call it? The Omnibus edition. But it's somewhat oversized. And, you know, it's great to own the old Fantastic Four issues, and I own some of the issues in here. But I love having them oversized. I love having the art reproduced really well on paper that's not making the ink get blurry, etc. I thought that this 3rd issue would close out the Jack Kirby run, but it goes to, what does it say? It goes to up to issue 93, and I think he stopped at 101 or 103. So there's at least about 8 more Jack Kirby issues to go. So I'll definitely, if there's an Omnibus 4, which I hope there is, I'll get that. And that will also have a lot of John Buscema artwork when Buscema was in his prime, so that would be worth getting. But there's just so much. Oh, I love that it includes the letters pages, by the way. I don't know why. I love getting those letters pages. Kind of wish it had the bullpen bulletins too. But the covers at this period were just so good. Jack Kirby was so at his peak. It's so good. Yeah, no, I'm flipping it and not getting the covers, but let's see. Oh well, anyway, just awesome. And I have volume 2. Oh, the other weird thing is the standard cover this time is by Ross, and you know, a great painting. This is a wonderful cover, but it seems to go with volume 1, not with volume 3. And it's strange that the Jack Kirby cover is the variant, and it was hard. The variant was not really available. Volume 1 has a Jack Kirby. Oh, sorry, Volume 2 has a Jack Kirby cover. I haven't got Volume 1 yet. This run to me gets really good around issue 42, I think. So I was less interested in Volume 1. I have other reproductions of the stuff in Volume 1, like the smaller Marvel Masterworks and such. But maybe eventually I'll get Volume 1 if it's still available, just to have like a complete set. That would make a lot of sense. How am I doing on time? Oh, 17 minutes already. So you know what? I will stop there. For those of you who just like hauls, you got it all in this video. I will do a quick comic book thoughts video on a whole bunch of comics in the next video. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show off my shirt. This is by one of our own YouTubers, and now I'm embarrassing myself. Jared Osborn. Sorry, Jared. This is a t-shirt by Jared Osborn. You can buy a number of t-shirts with his art on it. I liked this one best of the ones available. I'm going to keep an eye on his store. I'll figure out, I can't remember what the website is that he has his artwork and t-shirts and stuff on, but I'll find it and put a link below. Going to keep an eye on his store, see when more of his artwork becomes available as t-shirts, and see if there's some more I would like. So anyway, Jared's a very interesting artist. So talk to you all later.